Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest episode of JKL Media, where we are reviewing the science fiction series The Expanse, and we're going to be talking about episode 311 of season 3, and it is entitled Congregation. It's basically a two-parter that will end off the season. And speaking of congregating, I've got my fellow host with me, and that would include Karen. Hello, Karen.
Hello.
And Jesse.
Hello, and it is episode 12, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Congregation, not 11.
No.
So very, yes, I am here ready to talk a very confusing
All
episode.
right. Jesse's our bubble boy. He doesn't like bubbles.
Yes.
Hmm.
All
Okay,
right.
John Travolta. Does
Yes.
anybody remember that?
I remember the
I
Bubble
do.
Boy movie. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it will get us right off topic. Friday night, Lynn and I went and saw a local production of Grease.
Oh,
Speaking of
Oh,
You're the One
that's
I
wow.
Want.
cool.
Hmm.
Yes, she was ecstatic. Just I love going to local plays, period. And she does too. It's kind of one of the things we're doing. But she was so happy and she's like, they're so good. They're singing so well. They were so nice. So
Oh,
yeah, she was very
Awesome.
happy.
Cool. Alrighty.
So
So,
you two are the ones that I want. Just wanted to share that.
oh,
oh,
that's so nice.
very touching. All right, so let's start with the Rocinante because not a lot happens here, but the parts that do happen, I always like this. One of the show's strengths is bringing together characters that are polar opposites. And this time we get Anna and Amos. That almost sounds like a comedy duo. But
Yeah. Old sitcom.
yeah. So Karen, what did you think of their interaction on the Rocinante?
Okay, so riffing off that, by the way, off topic. A Anna and Amos would be like a young police officer paired with a really old and grizzled veteran police officer because Amos is one of those names, like,
Hmm.
the old guy. I think it would be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, uh sorry. We're just totally off the rails in this episode. Um yeah, I don't think that they are, I mean, yeah, they're opposite. I'll give you that. But they are uh, not dissimilar from Batman and Joker, two sides of the same coin, right? Um Amos actually comes out and says it, hey, yeah, I do that too. I see what needs to be done and I do it.
Hmm.
Uh, and that's Anna had just said that. And I wonder if she thought to herself, you know what? Yeah, he kind of does. And I mean, it's a completely different way though, right?
Yeah. I
Um,
don't think she had any clue what he meant by that.
really, you don't think she cottoned on to that?
No, I don't think so. But
Yeah, I think he was maybe taken aback by that a little bit, and that's why he said it. He is intrigued by her.
hmm.
I think he's very curious to see what makes her tick. And usually she'd be the one in that position, wanting to know what makes someone tick, but
Yeah.
she's too distracted by what's happening. She's, as we have established and how she says, she's a nurse or she was a nurse. And so she sees that her talents can be used here. They actually say again in this episode, we need more medical personnel. And so she jumps right in. So she is very distracted with what's happening there on the behemoth. And he's not. He doesn't see any place he can be useful now that his gun's been taken away. So, he's looking for stuff to do. I'm gonna go get food. I'm gonna go get food for people. And he goes to her, and I think some of that is that he respects her for having that kind of I see what needs to be done kind of attitude, but he also wants to understand it. And uh, that dynamic between the two of them, I found that so interesting to watch. I really did. And um it's one of those things I turned to Sean and I went, wow, that's profound what Amos said there.
Hmm.
And it was so under the radar
Yep.
of of what happened in that episode. So it was a great character beat. I love seeing those two together. They were a high point of
Hmm.
this episode, I thought. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Did you were you shocked when Anna slapped Clarissa?
Mhm. Okay. I don't know if shocked would be the word. I
Mm.
was a little surprised, not a
Mm.
lot, a little. Tilly was a friend
Hmm.
and she knew that this person had killed her, right? I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
um, she has no worth really to her. And as she said, part of her wanted to kill her.
Hmm.
Part of her wanted to take that gun and shoot her. And I think that slapping her is a very toned down version of what she wanted to do to her. So yeah, uh, I mean, a little surprised, a little taken aback, but um, I was like, yeah, let's kill her. I mean, I feel like there's no use for her, that she's just taken up oxygen at
Mm.
this point. She is irredeemable to me. So
Okay.
yeah,
Cool. Jesse, your thoughts on Amos and Andy?
Yeah, I
Amos and
loved them
Andy.
being together because, as you mentioned, uh, they're unlikely. They are not similar people, right? He is, uh, a very cynical person that has seen a lot of bad things and has made him more cynical, while Anna has seen a lot of bad things and it has made her more spiritual. Um, so them together is could be oil and vinegar, sweet and sour, but it works. It works them together because they share at least there's enough things that where they fill in each other's gaps. So I liked sending them together. Uh, I I was not surprised after the fact that Anna slapped her because we talked about last week, Anna's really angry. Like when she said, there's no redemption for you. You need to be punished. There was no forgiveness in her voice.
Right.
And so um, I was a little surprised that we just uh, and it's good storytelling. We went from surprise, I followed you into the Rossi to now you're, you know, being held captive. I did love her kept crunching on her magical teeth. I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to help you. We're filling you with inhibitors. So um, I I do kind of curious how they figured that out so quickly, right?
Well,
Uh,
when they scanned her, they probably picked up the
yeah,
extra stuff in her.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved watching them together. I love the debates. Um, we've talked a lot about Amos is someone who's like him and Bobby are kindred spirits,
Yep.
not as in soulmates to be together shipping way, but
Right.
just as mental thoughts except I would think Bobby's a little smarter. Uh, but not to imply Amos isn't dumb. He just
I would say
is,
more strategic, maybe.
yeah.
Amos is more
Yeah,
Uh,
street smarts.
yeah.
yeah. And he has a very realistic black or white, almost a analytic of, you know, pro con. There is no gray areas in his life.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I liked seeing them together a lot.
Okay. I uh I think what's really interesting is the dichotomy between how the two characters approach the situation. Amos's reaction is to use force, Anna's is to use compassion. And I think that he's totally taken back by that because that's the total opposite of how he would react to certain situations. So, which makes his response is as how he handles things. Uh, is I don't think Anna quite got the gist of what he was saying when he says what he said, but I do like that moment. We might as well carry on with those two characters, actually those three characters through to the end of the episode, because it kind of was its own thread throughout it. And uh, another great beat was with on the Behemoth in the sick bay where that person had died, and Anna's staying with a dead person for a while, and Amos is like looking like what are you doing? He's gone, and so I'm just want to spend some time reflecting on him, and he's kind of like just like shaking his head. He just doesn't get it. And then we have the scene in the jail with Anna and Clarissa, and uh, don't know how we're supposed to take Clarissa's tears exactly. Is she feeling some sort of uh, regret, or is she frustrated? I'm not sure how to read her exactly. So, Jesse, what do you to talk about those two scenes?
Yeah, there is a loveliness to that. I understand a little bit more Amos this time than necessarily Anna. There's nothing else you can do. You were there. There's people that who are still alive that need your help or could use your help. It, it's time to move on.
Hmm.
Uh, but I don't know if either one of you watched The Pit.
No.
But there is a lovely on the first season, they talk about it in the second, that anytime they lose a patient, they take a couple of minutes and just in silence kind of honor that person's life that they weren't able to save, and they kind of give it some grace. That's very beautiful. So I understand why she's doing that and why she thinks it's important. I also understand his point of what why. This is you can mourn later, you can do, there's other stuff to do. And he's already dead. He won't know it. There's no one else here.
Hmm.
But, Anna's thing is I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for the karma and in the universe, or just it just what I need to do to maybe make sense of this. So I just thought it was a very lovely scene, and it shows um how good of a person she is, in at least from my perspective. I also love the fact that, we had talked about her being a nurse, and she mentions about I was a nurse before I became uh, a leader, uh, you know, becoming a pastor, and the her talking about that I have her charity is a clinic. So we talked about that last time, that makes a little more sense that why she's doing this. This is not they're looking for people, and it appears, right, that the people are not covered under, that are out in the margins, that are not covered under universal health care for whatever reason. So just the more I like her, the more we spend time with her, the more I'm really impressed with her. Um, I don't know what's going on with Clarissa except um she feels almost like someone's controlling her. She has no um it- it's almost like she's hypnotized, like have to find Holden, have to find Holden, got to punish Holden, got to go hold Holden. And because like when she's being interrogated, where's James Holden? James Holden, like she can't get past that. And so it is almost like she's been hypnotized or somehow put in a trance that must find Holden. And it almost when and I don't think she is, I'm just saying that's the personality she's showing. And when she is thrown in the jail cell and Holden is there, right? And like, oh, what brought you in there? It almost feels like it breaks that trance that, oh, wow, I've worked this hard and now then the universe just brings them to me. Um, so I don't know what those tears are for, and I'm going a long way around sharing that, but
Hmm.
I don't know if it's she's relief. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if she has realized that this tunnel vision of her is getting her nowhere, and she's in her own way being as bad as her father. I'm not quite sure where we're going with that. But it's one of the storylines that I find interesting in this current situation.
Hmm. Karen.
Yeah. So I want to talk about Clarissa in the cell,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Sure.
Um, I love when she was brought in and Holden says, "What are you in for?" And she just can't believe that she's right across from him and can't do anything. Like, I feel like she wants to reach through and get him still. She does eavesdrop on his conversation with Naomi later on, and I wonder if that's going to come into play. I also Another scene that I loved was when Anna goes to visit her and they have that conversation and she admits, I kind of wanted to kill you. But it was it wasn't mercy that stopped me. It was me saying to myself, well, if I kill her, what is that going to look like? She was more concerned with what people were going to perceive if she did allow Amos to kill her. And then that line as she's walking away that you don't get the easy way out. And that was just like microphone drop, right?
Yep.
Um, Such a good parting line where she's not even looking back at her, just you don't get the easy way out. And now I'm out. Um, it's fantastic. And I agree with you, Jesse. She is very, I would say focused is almost understating it. Um, she is incredibly consumed with this need to kill Holden. And I don't think it is about Holden. I think it's about her relationship with her father. And that has been something that has been drilled into her. Also, when Anna talks to her and says, hey, you might be a product of bad parents, but, so are a lot of other people. You might have a brain tumor, but you don't. Um, so the only conclusion I can come to is that you're just evil. And that the fact that Anna has been trying to justify her decision and being torn between the two parts of her, that makes her more interesting too, because we see her as this benevolent healer type, not just as a nurse, but like healing souls. So the fact that she doesn't see anything worth saving in Melba slash Clarissa. Um, you know, she literally doesn't see anything worth saving because she wanted to kill her, and that hasn't really changed. She just thinks that she needs to be punished instead. Like, tortured. I feel like she'd be okay if she were like, tortured in that humane way that like someone's in prison and, that sort of thing. Um, so yeah, I think that Anna is becoming um kind of introspective in a way she hasn't been, where she's saying, okay, maybe I'm not this kind of benevolent healer person all the way. Maybe I'm not that 100%. And so when she talks to Amos about stuff, I feel like she's trying to suss out some things when she's not distracted about, what is Amos doing? She talks about her clinic too and how she's helping people that don't have the resources for healing. And Amos almost cuts her off and says, yeah, I know people like that. So again, we're getting, more backstory about Amos, and, Anna also learns something about her. So man, I swear that whole storyline is just so compelling to me.
Yeah, same for me. I think that Anna's really having her faith tested, and she's not always handling it properly. Like I think the slap is an indication of that. Uh, and then her conversation with Clarissa was maybe she was just trying to understand her personality, but there was also an element of I want to poke the hornet's nest.
Mm-hmm.
I want to piss you off, and I want to, and that's petty, but it makes me feel better.
Yep.
Uh, but and like the mic drop moment, like you said, I think was, the cherry on the top of that for her. Um,
Chef's kiss.
yeah, for Clarissa, like she seems to have no personal goals in life. Everything that she does is driven by her pleasing somebody else, in this case, her father. So she doesn't have she has no dreams or purpose or goal in her life. At least that's the way I read her.
Mm-hmm.
She's very
I don't
self,
think she's ever wanted to please anyone else, though.
maybe.
Those
Yeah,
parties were for him.
yeah, yeah.
So
At
I'm
least, yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
cut
that's
you off,
fine.
but
From what we've seen in the show, that definitely seems like that. And where that came from was because her sister Julie was just so, you know, powerful, driven, had her own set of priorities that she just couldn't compete with that. She just didn't have that mental fortitude or that personal drive or whatever it is. But yeah, she seems very non-driven, I guess is the way to say it, from a personal perspective. Whatever she's doing is she's trying to please somebody else, not attain any personal satisfaction for any goals in her own life. So she's a very interesting character, and I was kind of struck while she was, because everybody in that cell block could hear Naomi and Holden talking to each other, and the way she was listening to it, I was going like, is she trying to plan something, or is she realizing that Holden has more depth to him than, or a bigger story going on than she originally thought? So
does she have that capacity?
I don't know, but I just found that, and that's the beauty of those scenes, is you can interpret them however you want. So I just thought that was very interesting. There has to be a purpose as to why they set those scenes up so that we saw that the other people were hearing what they were talking about. So I just found that very interesting, and I just wanted to point that out. Um, Jesse, did you want to add anything about that, or are you cool?
I am good.
All
I
right.
it is just yeah, I she seems she does seem to be a very unhappy character.
Yeah.
And you're bringing up the point about doing something for others is pretty insightful. And here she is still doing things for other people, right? She is doing this for her father. Uh, and I don't even know if he wants her to do this.
Right.
I don't think so.
Uh, yeah. But she feels like she has to do something.
Yeah. I don't
That
know what the right term is, if she's a sociopath or a psychopath, but the fact that she's not feeling anything about all these other people being killed because of her actions, either directly or indirectly,
Yeah.
is a very telling sign. And whereas with Holden, you can see it's really tearing him up. He feels guilty about it, even though he didn't directly cause the things that happened. But yeah,
I
that's
don't
the
think
difference.
she's a sociopath because she cares about her father and what he thinks. But I do think that's sociopathic behavior,
Hmm.
not to care about life in
Yeah,
general.
yeah,
But I
for sure.
wonder, you know, does she think that this is going to make her happy? Like Jesse said, she's a very unhappy person. Does she
Yeah.
think that if she had her father's approval, she'd be happy?
I
I
think she
really
probably,
wonder that.
yeah, I think she probably thinks that, but I think she's going to find out, like with, like people that become famous and gain status and money and all that, that's not really the satisfying thing in life. It's the
Yeah.
relationships that you have with people that are, and she totally doesn't have that
She has
at
none.
all. She has none.
Yeah.
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 All right, Jesse, we're going to turn to I think it's better to approach the rest of this is through characters as opposed to scenes. So I'm just going to let
Okay.
you rip on Ashford. What did you think of him over the course of this episode?
So as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, is he is he truly doing what's best for society? Is he, how much of this is him wanting control, right? Like my thought was he truly was doing what was right for the belt and for other people, right? Like he's reached a point where he's sacrificing. This is not about his personal ambition. And I think that when we get to the end, right, where he talks about this is what we can do, and no one will, and the people bring up no one will ever know about, it, but we will. And that's not a bad legacy of saving the world, right?
Hmm.
Goes again that I like this character, and I think that despite all the rough edges, he has and this is an oversimplification, a good heart,
Right.
right? I loved the finally some information that's worth a damn, right? He didn't say it that way, but like, okay, we're short on blood. All right, second shift, everyone, you're mandatory giving blood.
Hmm.
Like, not we're looking for volunteers. Like, nope, you're in the army or you're in the navy. Go give and he immediately, hey, I bleed as well as everyone else. I'm
Yep.
going to get blood.
Yep.
Um, the uh he's not had time to check on drummer, but I don't think that's because he doesn't care. It's because he's got other crap to do right now.
Hmm.
And when we get to her, I'll share my thoughts about her.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think and we've shared how much David Strahan is just killing it in this role. I think he continues to just do a great job. It's a compelling character, and I think he's not just a hero in his own story, he is a hero in his own way. And so I've loved watching him this back and forth and trying to there's a scene in Josh Whedon's Dollhouse where um you did a good job, and she said I played a poor hand uh well. right? Like this, I didn't do well. I just had a poor hand and I played it as well as could possible. I think he has a poor hand, but he's playing it as well as possible that he can.
Hmm. Karen.
I find Ashford and yeah, David Strathairn is just going ham on this character. I love it.
Yep.
Um, I find him the most confusing character in this episode.
Mm.
I thought I had him pegged, and I am not sure now because he does say she saved my life and I saved her about Drummer. He is willing to kill himself and everyone else there without humanity knowing about it in order to save humanity. At the end of the episode, we learn that he's willing to do that. And that doesn't strike me as I'm in it for my own glory. But this is the first episode we've really seen that, where he's being unselfish, at least outwardly, because I feel like before now we're given the idea that I don't know, I might be misinterpreting, but I feel like they've kind of been giving me the image of him as an opportunist. He's there to undermine Fred Johnson's kind of influence on the OPA for
Dawes.
Dawes, right? And I feel like that's where his focus has been. And now, has this changed him? Has this series of events changed his outlook? So I kind of want to know one way or the other, what is he about? Has he changed? Was he always this person that wanted the best for the OPA? I do think part of him was, and he thought the Dawes would be the best for the OPA.
Hmm.
And he didn't, because Fred Johnson isn't a belter, right? Um,
Right.
he was an earther
Yep.
before all this. So where Dawes is a belter and maybe thinks that he is more worthy of being the leader. So he's so complicated. And I think without coming out and acting out all of those things, we're getting all of those things. And I think that's the sign of an actor that knows how to be that character.
Hmm.
And that, I mean, I can't say enough good stuff about him playing this Ashford dude.
Yeah, I totally
So,
agree with you. I think he's just delightful to watch, even if you don't agree with what he's doing, but he just does it so well.
yep.
He's just a really good actor in this role, and the makeup, of course, with the burn on his face and all that, really
Mm.
selling it too, and his spiky hair, and yeah, he's just really
I,
inhabiting that character. Um,
I think we should also mention that when he goes after Diogo
mhm.
for, not doing his job,
Yeah,
I thought that was great too, because Diogo has really just been
a
uh,
dick.
the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he's really walking, strutting around like a big peacock, but yeah,
Do
he's just an idiot.
do we think he is stealing
Okay,
or incompetent
that's the
or just
first thing we
incompetent?
knew about him, right? Is that he
Hmm.
was
Yeah.
stealing and dealing in water
Yeah.
on series. So, and that's the first thing I thought of is he selling that medicine? Is he stealing it and selling it? So yeah, who knows? He's shifty, but
Yeah.
he's also very easily swayed. He is just a
Yeah,
horrible
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
My
He's a
first
young kid that has no business being put in any
his
type
position.
of,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. My first initial thought was, yeah, he's probably the one stealing it. But then I thought, no, he's just um enjoying his role, and he's just, he's just walking around like a peacock, spreading his feathers. I just don't think that he's even thought about doing anything like that. Maybe over time he would, but I think in this moment he's just still basking in his own self-importance. So I
Yes.
don't think that he's stealing the drugs, but he's not doing his job either. He's just enjoying the power and being able to push like Naomi and the Rocinante guys around and people with their weapons. Bobby saying you can't come on the ship with the weapons. Oh no, that was
Yeah.
Ashford for that. But get back to Ashford, I was kind of surprised that he agreed to the detonating the nuclear bomb, um, and then flipping to say, okay, now we've got to save the whole human race. That was kind of like the hand wavy part of the
It's
episode for
confusing.
me. Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
hand wavy part of the episode for me because he says, "I'm glad we know about this." I go, but if you hadn't set the bomb off in the first place, you wouldn't have this big problem that you've
right.
set up. So it was kind of
Yeah.
like, okay,
Okay,
we
let
have
me
to
say
get to
something
this,
about
but
that. Number one, he does establish in this episode he doesn't understand the technology
yeah,
at all.
Welcome to
And
the club,
also,
buddies.
also, um, he mentions that, hey, I don't see a plan from anyone else. And so he's willing to take that chance as long as it's a plan that he can see, hey, that might actually do something. So I don't think that he's really thought it through so much. He is distracted by all kinds of things. And um, he him saying, dumb it down for me, and then the guy starts talking again and he's like, okay, dumb it down for me.
Yeah.
He doubles down on that. So um knowing that he's just glomming on to anyone who has a plan at this point, I feel like that's the justification. Now, whether that's communicated 100% is a whole different manner, but I think that's what they're trying to establish. He's just saying, well, at least there's a plan. Let's go with it, right?
yeah, he doesn't like to sit idly by.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a boss once that I just say this all the time. If mine's the only idea on the table, it's the best idea.
Yeah.
Right.
And I had another boss that I loved. He would say, "This is my best worst idea."
Hmm.
And like, hey, I agree. It's a horrible plan, but it's the only one I got. Does anyone have a better one?
Hmm.
Right? So, yeah, this is where it gets confusing to me
Hmm.
because I'm like, you know, we're stuck in here and we've got to do something. And I assume they feel like they have established they can't go backwards, right? They can't just leave this whatever this bubble is,
Yeah.
right? Is that the premise? They can't?
Hmm.
Yeah. The
Is it
station's holding them, like with tractor
okay?
beams.
Okay.
That's why you always see the ships always got like part of their structure is being held by the purple beam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And so and I do think it's interesting the idea, right, that he uh the where he does say, okay, we've we've now attacked it, and that's why things are different, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
he's okay with attacking stuff,
Yeah.
as we've established that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Karen, we're going to turn to your favorite character, I think. I don't know, maybe you like Ashford more than Drummer. You'll have to let me know.
I don't like Ashford.
Oh, oh, okay.
But I do love that character.
Okay.
Um, whereas I like Drummer
All right.
um a lot. You're talking about Drummer, right?
Yep. Yep.
And Bobby, for that matter.
Hmm.
Um, but I think Drummer in this episode, man, um, she is taking things into her own hands. I think she's in my camp. She's pretty sure that Ashford is taking over and she wants to make sure that people don't forget that she's the captain. She doesn't want to be incapacitated
Hmm.
because that means that she loses more ground with the crew.
Right.
Um, and not just that, but she wants to uh it's not for vanity's sake. This is her job, and she wants to be doing her job. Um, Putting those robot legs on, I think was awesome. Um, the way she strutted in to the main ship
Hmm.
with Naomi there was great. Um, I still I get the impression that she has deeper feelings for Naomi than friendship,
Hmm.
especially in this episode. Saying, I thought you came to see me, and Naomi saying, well, yeah, I did, but I got other sh shit going on.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't think Naomi reciprocates the deeper feelings. I do think that they have a bond. Naomi helping her, where she probably knows she shouldn't be getting up and doing these things, but if she's going to do this, I'm going to help her do it right.
Hmm.
And that's part of Naomi's character, right? Is
Hmm.
because she says to Ashford, yeah, if that's the only way I can see her, I'll help. And I'm going to do it right. I'm going to make sure that people on the ship know how to do this. She didn't train the people who are going to replace her when she left the first time.
Right.
And she does mention that, hey, I'll make sure there's people that understand how to do these things. So,
Hmm.
um, uh, I think their dynamic together is fantastic. Um, uh, I have issues with Naomi, but I like seeing their connection.
Hmm.
Uh, I love that Drummer is just not willing to sit and let things happen. She wants to be active in the decisions that are being made.
Right.
And if it hinders her ability uh, to regenerate and become whole, then it does.
Hmm.
She'll make the best out of what she has, which is, you know, Terminator legs. So
Terminator legs.
I loved it. It was fantastic.
Kind of also echoes of Sigourney Weaver in Aliens with the
And aliens, yeah.
with the power
Yeah.
lifter.
Pew,
Yeah.
pew. Yeah, exactly.
I bet you
Very
that's where they
cool.
got that inspiration from.
Yeah.
Jesse, your thoughts on Drummer?
So I love Drummer, but I am frustrated, and this is a pet peeve of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand, and I probably this will be controversial, but I do not understand people whining about treatments in a hospital. And they want me to rest, and they wake me up every 3 hours to take a pill. Yes, because you're in the frickin' hospital. You're there for to be taken care of, to be healed. Yes, that comes with the dinner, as they joke.
Hmm.
They have to get you on this. They have to check your blood pressure. They have to draw blood. They have to do these things to make sure you're okay. It is the nature of the beast. Quit whining about it. End of soapbox. Um, you have a spinal injury and you know you were willing to give up your life. Now then, frickin' rest and do what you have to do in the long run to take care, because you can't take care of anyone if you don't take care of yourself first. So now I also have a little bit of a problem that, oh, Naomi is so magical with engineering that she's able to fix things that no one else can, right?
Hmm.
It
Just call her
just
Scotty.
Yeah, exactly. So I just it that took me out of the show just a little bit.
Oh, really?
Though I
Mm.
love seeing them two together, and I do love that Naomi is that good at everything. In that nice little moment where she's able to do a little tweak, and Drummer, wasn't able to fix that. So it's
Hmm.
very lovely. Um, I do. and I think it's implied, but I would have liked some dialogue that said, I need to be up and running to fix my ship to do this. And if that costs me my legs for permanently, forever, whatever, that's the cost I'll have to pay. Most of the time I'm in a zero gravity ship anyway, so legs are useless. I can be just as easily, doing what I need to do.
Hmm.
So yeah, I have kind of conflicted thoughts about that, but anytime you can get these two characters together, I enjoy it. So that's what I've got going on with those.
Okay.
To be
It,
fair, she didn't go to the hospital.
Hmm.
She woke up in the hospital. So she's being
well,
treated, right?
yeah, but still,
Yo,
Jesse's
so
point
you
is well taken.
I
you
see your
mind
It is
just
point
speak?
too, but
it is a cliche that characters
yeah,
in the hospitals are always, railing against being treated because
yeah,
I've got something more important to do and my health is secondary
Yeah,
kind of thing.
right.
But um and she's in gravity, so like when you see the graphic on the screen that like two-thirds of her spine is red because it's
yeah.
damaged, it's kind of like uh I don't think you
And
even
the
if you
doctor
wanted to
telling
go
her,
to the bridge, I don't think there's any way
yeah,
you're gonna do it. Like
and the
her pulling
doctor
herself, and
telling
I'm going,
her
really?
you
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
and I, by the way, I don't care if she is the captain. If I'm the doctor, I'm putting her in that medical coma. I'm
Right.
not asking her. I am just flat
yeah,
doing that, you know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a TV trope or a storytelling
Yes,
Hmm.
trope.
yes, it is.
It
It
is
is
for
very
sure.
much so. Yeah.
But it is cool seeing her walk around with the Terminator legs. I
Yes.
can't hardly wait till her and Ashford meet again. Um, and it is a good show of strength of character that she's willing to, risk her personal health to be back in the captain's chair. Though I
Yeah.
do think that Karen's point is well made about that she's worried that Ashford's going to permanently take her position if she doesn't get back there as soon as possible. So
Yeah.
uh and it's yeah, it's just well taken that she's doing that. So I just yeah, I think she's a great character, and it's just really interesting to
She's a badass.
see the show handle how many different characters in this episode, and they all sort of got their moment to shine. Is pretty cool. Um, but
Absolutely.
now we're going to turn to Jesse's favorite part of the story, which is bubble physics. And we find out through Holden that um, the rings are not actually a weapon. They're a transportation system, and whatever has been going on for the entire series is just sort of been an accidental byproduct of the protomolecule's capabilities. And he likens to what the protomolecule is doing as to how we treat ants when we're making a building. So
Yeah.
I think hopefully that kind of helps it'll put it in a little bit of perspective because up until this point in the series, I think we've been operating on the principle that we're sort of at the same level of yes, these beings might have better technology than us, but we're still kind of like, we would be able to converse with these beings. I think that's put to rest with the way that Holden used the anthill analogy. Um, he's saying that they have to get out of there, but he's not quite sure what that is. Is you can put that up to dramatic tension that we'll maybe find out in the next episode what the solution is. Um, but it's kind of scary that as brilliant as these beings were, whatever was attacking them or um, killing them off, they were unable to prevent it from happening. So there's like this, whatever this threat is going out. This is the Expanse's version of the astrophage from Project Hail Mary. So
Hmm.
um, it's it's dramatically it's not that interesting because it's they're telling us instead of showing. But how can you show like we saw those images in his mind um, quickly, and I think it's still worth rewatching that sequence as you're watching these other episodes just to kind of okay. this is what he's talking about. And that's what these images actually meant. Because when you're watching them without any narration, it's kind of like, well, what the hell's happening here? I don't really get it. So now we finally got an explanation from Holden about that. And Karen, I'm just gonna ask you what you thought of that explanation. Does it change your view of the series as storyline as a whole, or was it something that you were kind of expecting? Like, how did you react to that information?
I mean, it edits my view of it.
Hmm.
We knew that the proto-molecule came to this solar system for a reason. We knew that. And that it was discovered, I guess, by Mao and his researchers. And they decided to use it. So this isn't the first time we've seen anything like this where the government, quote unquote, decides to corrupt an alien and use it as a weapon. And I'm
Hmm.
assuming that's a similar storyline. Um, I love the fact that these are like wormholes or the Borg network or something like that. Um, you know, I'm speaking for myself. I feel like we understand that dynamic. And the one thing I wonder is if they were exterminated, except for this, you know, landing party, I guess. What are they trying to do? Is it a vengeance thing? Is it because they've already been decimated by whatever this is. So there's a bigger threat out there. Um, what are they doing? And it almost reads to me as like their ants in their world, right? We're the ants in our world to them, but are they the ants trying to like poke at things to see what they can exploit? Like, fire ants, for example, all they're doing is trying to survive. So if you step foot into one of their homes, and I'm putting air quotes around that, they're going to attack you.
Hmm.
And that's all instinct. And then what we do is we reach down and we brush them off and kill them. Hey, I don't want that there. I'm going to exterminate the whole nest.
Hmm.
So is the protomolecule the ants in their world? Is that other being, are they the people that are squishing, exterminating the ants? I wonder about that kind of thing.
Hmm.
What are these characters' motivations? What happened to put them there? I'm assuming they had this technology earlier, that they knew they could do this already, that they could go to did they go somewhere and threaten that society? And so that society came back and said, well, we don't want you around, so let's take you out. Um, so there's a lot of perm, perm, permutations.
Hmm.
I'm sure I'm saying that
No,
wrong.
that's all right. Permutations.
Okay, permutations to what is going on. And I really do want to understand what's happening. We only have one more episode this season, and I'm desperate to see what they're going to show us in that last episode. We have put ourselves in grave danger here. Um, we are testing that thing that we already know. We already know that. They disassembled that guy who threw the grenade. And now we just threw another grenade at him, thinking that, hey, it's a test. We're gonna be okay. They want to disassemble everything. And if that means, hey, your whole civilization, your whole uh everything in your solar system is a threat to us, we can't allow these weapons being thrown at us, we're going to take you all out. Um, we already know. I mean, they should know that, right? And I think when Bobby says, when they ask about Holden, and that's they talk about Holden after all this, which I think is dumb. Um, Bobby says, "Yeah, I think he'll help us if he can, because I feel like it's almost too late. They've already thrown this grenade at them at a very large scale. So what are they going to have to do to save themselves? It's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. And I love that Ashford thought that he's crazy. I wondered if he just said that he thought he was crazy in order to use that information for himself. Again, I'm very suspicious of him. Did he believe Holden at first and then say, oh, yeah, he's crazy. Don't listen to what he's saying in order to use that? But at the end of the episode, I think it's shown that he didn't believe him, that he did think he was crazy until he realized that maybe Holden's on to something here, and maybe we should go and find out what he knows. And he first goes to Bobby, and Bobby says, yeah, you got to talk to him. I've been saying this the whole time. And yeah, I think they see how valuable that information is. And when he described all that to Naomi, it was chilling to me that he was fundamentally changed by it, by the things that he saw. So yeah, I don't think it changed my view, but it did alter my view. It made me wonder a lot of stuff about motivation and what's happening and that sort of thing. What
Okay.
their place in the universe is.
Right. Right. Jesse.
Yeah, did we create this? Was it discovered? It just it feels to me they've been inconsistent with this. That Mal, his lab created it. Now we find out no, they just discovered it. Um, is this the implication is that this is deadly only because we've messed with it. If we had not messed with it, this would not be deadly.
Hmm.
But why did the protomolecule attack the Rossi in that, that take over the thing and they ended up having to do a nuclear war? I just find the whole storyline just frustrating. It doesn't make any sense to me. It is technical babble and I just kind of skip that part of it and just like, yeah,
Sure.
okay, they're stuck somewhere. It's important. And how long are we going to have to stay on this?
Yeah.
Has it been established that they've said that Mal created it?
No.
Yeah, I never got that opinion.
Uh,
I feel like they found this protomolecule and they changed it. And so that is the first attack on them. Mal
okay.
taking them. And so that's why they're attacking things already. And it's escalated because they have on Venus, not only were they shot into Venus, which was another attack, but now they have all these resources and they have a way to um, maybe get that network back that they needed to travel. And they've been, held back because Mao co-opted, the protomolecule and was trying to use it. I think that's their motivation. That was their first thing that invaded them, that attacked them when they came to our universe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely the MacGuffin of the series. I mean,
Yeah.
it's driving the story forward. Um, you can get as involved with it as you want, or as Jesse said, I don't really care about it. I don't think it really impacts the actual course of the series itself. But for some people, that's kind of metaphysical discussion is quite interesting. Um, and the idea that
Me, I
there's
guess.
this race that was above us as ants, and yet they still succumbed to something else, some other greater force still. That's always a fascinating discussion. It's kind of like, like people get off on talking about why dinosaurs ruled the earth for so long, yet even as big as they were, they eventually fell. So, was there the equivalent of some sort of meteor that that impacted Earth kind of event that happened with these people that was just a natural phenomenon, or were they actually attacked by something else? Like whether you get excited about that kind of discussion or not is, that's all subjective. But
Yeah.
as far as the series is concerned, it's just the MacGuffin that drives the series and drives all the characters around it to take the actions that they're taking right now. So you just
So I don't need to worry about all that.
Um, I'm not going to close the door on that
Okay.
completely, but it's definitely not the focus of the series. Let's put it that
Okay.
way. Okay.
Because the thought that I have is what's going to happen with this other thing, the greater thing.
Hmm.
What is something going to happen with them? So, like we had that with Babylon 5, that we had something that appeared to be our huge enemy, but there was something else driving them,
Yeah.
right? So there was a bigger threat that we don't see. And so I'm worried about that.
It's
Is there a bigger threat here?
um yeah, I don't want to say anything at this point. But
Okay.
your comparison to the Shadow Wars with Babylon 5 are very apt. And
Okay.
look how that eventually played out. It didn't really make a
Right.
big
Right.
big difference to that series either way.
It was about the people
It
and
wasn't
the
about the people,
humanity.
and this is
Right.
sort of the same
Okay.
storytelling device that's in play here as well.
Gotcha.
Alrighty. That's everything I got. Is there anything, Jesse or Karen, that you wanted to add that hasn't come up yet?
I like that we saw Monica
Oh, okay.
reporting here,
All
so we
right.
know that she survived.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I love that Amos tells Alex, "See, look, she's still alive. I didn't do anything."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that was great. Yeah, and I think the whole, surrendering their weapons thing was an interesting,
Yeah.
kind of look into Ashford. We have the weapons, and I can't have you having your weapons. And Bobby, of course, rebelling against that because that's who she is.
Yeah. And
And
Yeah. You're
Amos.
Amos,
not getting my suit. Yeah.
right, and
Yeah.
Amos doing the same thing. Hey, that's all I
Not
am.
not going to happen. Yeah.
Right, right. But they do end up, well, if that's the only way I can be here, then I will. And, immediately Amos gives his rifle over, and then something happens and he says, "Okay, give me it back."
Yeah, I'm gonna need that weapon back.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So there are a few little,
Yep.
smaller things that happen that I found interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesse, you got anything else? Or you good?
No, like I said, I know the assumption is that this protomolecule is going to destroy everything, right? And so we have to destroy it or else kill it first before it kills us. And I don't quite get where their, I guess their point is since if we hadn't poked the bear, it wouldn't be going after us, but now that we have, we've got to do something about it. Yeah, it's a frustrating MacGuffin for me.
Hmm.
And I once again I hope we get past this pretty quickly next season.
Hmm.
But we'll see. I am looking forward to watching what goes next. I'll probably watch the next episode today.
Hmm.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jesse. I really am, because
No.
I feel like that I'm concentrating on that kind of understanding of what's going on and
Hmm.
tracking it.
Yeah.
And I hate that you're not in the same place.
Oh,
So
no, it's okay.
makes me sad.
Yeah, well,
No,
that's all how
no.
we get our different perspectives, right?
True.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
I've got my feet in both camps, so
Okay.
I'm
Uh-huh.
pretty happy with the where things are. Um, so we're all set up now for the final episode. Ashford wants to use laser to destroy the ring. And we're going to see how that plays out. And it's interesting that because the next episode is the title of the third book, I believe, which is Abaddon's Gate. And Abaddon is the Hebrew term, and its Greek equivalent is Apollyon, means destroyer. Also is used in the reference to a bottomless pit, often appearing alongside the place of Sheol and meaning the resting place of the dead. So that's a pretty ominous name, to say
Yeah.
the least. But I think we've already got a glimpse into the place of the dead because we've seen those images of all those solar systems being destroyed in an attempt to stop whatever cataclysm was affecting that higher race. So uh, definitely going to be a very interesting conclusion to the third season with our next episode. And appropriately, Jesse's going to get to marshal that, so he's going to have to deal with the bubble even more.
Exactly. Yes.
But there should be some good character stuff in the next episode, I would think.
Okay, good. Good to know.
Alrighty, that's it. Jesse, if people want to reach out to you, where can they find
Are
you?
we rating? Are we
Oh,
rating
sorry,
the
you want to
episode?
rate? Sure, go
Yeah.
ahead, Karen.
Uh, because of all the high character beats in this, I'm gonna give it an 8. 8 frickin' laser beams.
Very
Ah.
good. Very good.
Yeah, my gut is to give it an 8 as well. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 bionic legs.
Oh,
Very
darn.
cool.
Okay.
Oh, that's what
Um,
you were gonna pick?
yeah. Uh,
Sorry.
no worries. What am I gonna pick? What am I gonna pick? Ooh, I'll give it 8, but I'm just trying to think. I'm kind of coming up with a
Suppression
blank.
devices? 8
No,
prison
8.
bars?
Give me my gun back.
Okay, cool. I
Yes,
like that.
nice. I'm going to need that back.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was a great line.
Alrighty. Jesse, if people want to reach out to you and find out more about you, but probably a lot more about Bruce Springsteen, where should they go?
Yes, you can find me at setlistingbruce@gmail.com and my email, Jesse Jackson DFW on most social media. Uh, I have coming up my 1500 episode of Set Listing Bruce,
Jesus.
Yeah.
where my son Chris Jackson and I discussed. He interviewed me, and I think as a proud dad, I'm very happy with our discussion that. We are wrapping up the House of the Dragon on Small Council Matters. We're discussing the finale this coming week. And as I shared before, a couple weeks ago, I had Dale Hansen, who is a retired sportscaster. He joined me again to talk a little bit. Rod Stewart, Don Nelson, who is the coach of the Mavericks, who just recently passed, and Troy Aikman, the Hall of Fame Dallas quarterback, and now a brewmeister of his
Hmm.
own version beer called Eight. And we talk a little bit Troy, which I thought was a really fun discussion. So check it out, everyone.
All right.
Maybe I should volunteer to come on and talk about the 1980s 49ers. How much would you hate that?
I would love that. I would love
Yeah,
that very much.
Dan
Yes.
Marino and all those
Yeah.
Tim Rice.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I'm sorry. I'm from that
No,
area.
no. I'd love
Um
it.
so you can email us at jklmediareviews@gmail.com. I am at Aleveria, Aleveria on social media. And my blog is alliestuff.com.
All righty. And I'm the L in JKL, which is Lou, and I am of course on this YouTube channel, and you can hear our continuing reviews of the Expanse series. We're waiting for Pluribus and Severance to come back. I'm also waiting for the Foundation series to come back too. And on my main channel, Lou's Reviews, you can find my Stephen King podcasts. And I primed the guys. We're going to get ready in November, to review Other Worlds Than These, which will be the concluding trilogy in the Talisman series. And we've got the first two books, which we'll probably review spaced out throughout the year once these two guys get them done, which would be the Talisman and the Black House. So we're looking forward to that. Um, we also have on that uh, my channel the all the archived episodes of Babylon 5 plus the animated movie. I have my writer interviews, and on Twitter and Blue Sky you can find me at Lou W Sitzma, Sytsma. And with that, it's time to shut down the Epstein drive once again, and we'll be back next week. Take care, everyone. Until then, so long. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Yay.
And scene.
The proceeding has been a JKL Media production.